around none other than the legendary Tim Legler.
The band is back together. This is tremendous.
Amazing. Welcome to L.A., my friend.
Thanks for having me.
Great to have you in the building, Tim. All right, so this championship game, we had Oklahoma City's speed against Milwaukee's size based on the available players. No Chris Middleton for Milwaukee. Ray Allen, Oscar Roberts are there to check it out. First meeting of this season between these two. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander gets the rebound, goes coast to coast, slams it at the other end. OKC up early, 21 for Gilgeous-Alexander, with just 8 of 21 from the floor. Next possession, Dame Lillard to Giannis Antetokounmpo, big finish. So the stars are out, Tim.
They were out. Giannis playing with a purpose. And he knew that he had an advantage over some of the smaller guys that are going to be defending him, and he had his mind set on getting to the rim.
And Dame Lillard was finding his stroke from outside. Bucks with a 2-point lead. All right, second quarter now. Bucks down by 5. So you got Antetokounmpo, Tim, 6'11", 243 against Jalen Williams, 6'6", 220. Who you taking?
And he's a great defender, but there's only so much you can do when you're going to have a 6'11" guy go to a lean-back jumper. The very next possession, they go against Alex Caruso, again, an elite-level defender, but he is 6'5".
Yeah.
And Giannis is going to get into that spin move, and at some point, it's just too much length around the rim.
Antetokounmpo, 10 of 19 from the floor. Check him out on this play. Finds an opening on the inbounds pass. Antetokounmpo and Lillard scored or assisted on 44 of 51 Bucks points in the first half. Bucks up by 1 at the break. Third quarter, Milwaukee just ran away with it. Up by 4. Antetokounmpo to Lillard for 3 more. Milwaukee 17 of 40 from 3. And later in the third, Bucks up by 8. Lillard. Tim, you know all about shooting threes. He found the rhythm.
He did. That's a backbreaker there off a jump ball, deep into the shot clock, and you still end up with 3 points out of it. And then again, Giannis operating against smaller defenders. Even the weak side help is a guard coming over. 3-point play for Giannis.
Bucks up 8 after Antetokounmpo hit the free throw. Caruso drives, and Antetokounmpo with a block, dominating on both ends.
Yeah, I had to see the replay to see exactly how this ball went off Caruso, and there you get it, off the backboard and off his face, out of bounds. Big play by Giannis in that rim deterrent.
Gary Trent Jr. got the steal there, pushed it up the floor, and then Trent Jr. with the finish. Antetokounmpo and Lillard in the third, 20 points of 6 of 12 shooting. Thunder in the third, just 14 points. Bucks up 13 heading into the fourth. And then Brook Lopez getting involved.
Yeah, look, at some point the floodgates opened up for the Bucks from the 3-point line. Neither team shot it well in the first half. That continued for the Thunder, but the Bucks finally did get hot.
13 for Lopez. He was 3 for 6 from 3. Lillard, 5 of his 6 buckets were threes. He had 23. Bucks up 18 at that point. 4 minutes left in the fourth. Isaiah Hartenstein gets it rejected. 3 blocks for Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, great timing right there. And Giannis, to me, he was the most determined force on the court. This meant a lot to him. It was obvious. He set the tone. He led his team in terms of energy and effort, and also led to this open court transition threes.
OKC scored at least 99 in every game this season. They'll get only 81 in this game. Antetokounmpo, 26 points, 19 boards, 10 assists for the triple-double. Gilgeous-Alexander and company heading home. Bucks win it, 97-81 to win the NBA Cup.
Having a tough start that we had, the only way out of it was us being together and us doing it, you know, as a connected group. And we've experienced like I said, our way out of it that way. So coming out here tonight, knowing that a lot was on the line for our team, how connected we were tonight, you know, when the stakes was as high as was going to be the most important thing, and I thought we played that way.
We had this goal as a team, and we accomplished it. We accomplished it. I'm very proud of everybody. I'm so happy for Dame that he got, we got our first trophy together, and this is just the beginning. We got to keep on improving, keep on getting better, and we will be better.
Just a second year, so not an extensive NBA Cup history just yet, but Giannis Antetokounmpo's performance on Tuesday will go down as an all-timer. 3rd triple-double in the knockout rounds, but 1st in the NBA Cup championship, and the 4th in a winner-take-all game in finals and Cup history. Meanwhile, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and company had won 5 in a row, but they couldn't deal with Milwaukee's size or their defense.
We didn't shoot it well tonight, but it's never an excuse. There was definitely controllables tonight we could have taken care of, and we didn't do so, and that's why the score looked the way it does. We've shot bad in 1 games before, so it's not an excuse.
I'm disappointed. I mean, obviously, you know, it's a lot of money we're playing for. I mean, you saw the way they were celebrating, like they're happy. I think when there's money on the line, everybody's going to play hard, but yeah, disappointed. I think you also have to, like, know in a sense, too, like, this doesn't really count for our record, right?
So it was obvious, right, guys? I mean, watching that second half, who was the better team, the Bucks' legs seemed to exploit a weakness by the Thunder, and Giannis was the guy setting the tone as always. How did they do that?
Well, we're all curious what Oklahoma City is going to look like when they play their two bigs together, but we haven't seen it yet.
Right.
Chet Holmgren is out. Isaiah Hartenstein was out at the beginning of the year. That, again, reared itself because this was a problem for the Thunder a year ago, and the Bucks took advantage of it. Let's take a look at how they did that. Now, this is where Oklahoma City tries to hit you with their speed. It's a good idea, and they do this a lot. You run two out at the ball, get the ball out of Giannis's hand, but I like the fact that the Bucks were very patient on this. So now as the ball gets worked around, eventually it's going to end up in the hands of Brook Lopez. And what he's going to do is turn, and he's going to face. And now you're going to draw the one shot blocker who has to come out and defend Lopez because he's a good shooter. You've got one guy with size on the court for Oklahoma City. He's going to come out and play this right now. You've got both guys guarding the shooters in the corners, and you can see who's guarding Giannis Antetokounmpo. It's Alex Caruso. So Giannis is going to say, well, I'm just going to go ahead and run this straight line cut to the rim. And at some point, that strength and that size just becomes too much. You're going to see good old-fashioned high-low basketball because Hartenstein is away from the rim. There's nobody back there but guards. Giannis takes advantage. Do it again here. Get the ball out of Lopez's hands and run two at him. When the ball goes into the post, you can see, again, it's a mismatch. Now, this time it's Jalen Williams. But, again, you've got a size advantage down here. So what happens, you're going to get two different Thunder. One, the shot blocker, Hartenstein, and then even Shea. He's sort of lurking here and waiting. So it's three guys on the ball, and what does that mean for Brook Lopez? Well, he looks over and he eyes it up. He sees a rim run because the only thing, again, on the weak side of the floor is another guard. Now you've got a 7-footer running to the rim. So in this case, Giannis just turns and returns the favor, throws this ball right to the rim, and Brook Lopez gets his easiest 2 points of the night. And it just, you could see the discrepancy there. Now, look, there are some nights it doesn't affect Oklahoma City because they are so good at containing driving lanes and flooding out to the three-point line. Okay. Milwaukee had a very determined game plan to get the ball in the paint against them, use their size to their advantage, and eventually somebody in this game is going to start making some threes. It was the Bucks. Thunder never did it. 36-point discrepancy at the three-point line. You can't overcome that in modern NBA basketball. You've got to get to a certain number offensively. Oklahoma City just didn't do that tonight.
Again, this game does not count in the standings, but Milwaukee 12-3 in their last 15 after that 2-8 start. What changed for them?
They're just much more intent defensively, fewer mistakes, better communication on that end. It's something that we expected Doc Rivers to clean up right away when he got there a year ago. It takes time. You need an offseason as a head coach. You need a full training camp as a head coach, and he's got that now. So you're starting to see this team get more confidence. And look, their offense being better helps their defense. This is an elite defensive team. They can be in stretches, but their offense being much better during their stretch gives their defense a better chance because they're set up more in the half court. And their offense is better because Lillard and Antetokounmpo have found an ebb and flow as two stars together. It's a very difficult thing for Damian Lillard a year ago when he'd been the best player on every team he ever played on to now play with a guy to cast a shadow like that. There's some hesitation. There's some deference. Like you don't know exactly when to be the alpha. That takes time, and you can see they are much more comfortable with each other this year. And right now, Bucks are rolling. Look, they're climbing rungs in the ladder in the East. It's a long way from where I say, hey, this team could win it all, but they're absolutely getting into that conversation in the East now with those top teams, you know, Orlando, Cleveland, Boston, and the New York Knicks.
Yeah, and Chris Middleton out, but due to illness, not injury, so they're going to get him back.
Yeah,
that's another big piece that they need.
All right, more big news from the NBA. No more All-Star game. That's right. It's an All-Star tournament. 4 teams, 3 of them made up of 8 All-Stars each. The 4th team will be the winner of the Rising Stars event on Friday. Now, the event takes place Saturday, February 16th in San Francisco. But wait a minute. Kevin Durant, not a fan of this change.
I hate it. Absolutely hate it. It's terrible. All-Star game, formats changing, all the formats are terrible in my opinion. And we should just go back to East-West, like, and just play a game. I think we've been trying to, you know, bring that flair back somehow with the All-Star weekend, but I think we just keep it traditional. But we'll see how this one works. You never know. I might be wrong. I'm just another guy with an opinion, but we'll see how it works.
All right, KD hates it.
Yeah.
What do you think, Leg?
Well, look, I hear what he's saying.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we all see what the game has devolved into, right? It doesn't resemble an NBA basketball
It's not working.
game. And so the league is going to try something else. I'm all for it. Let's give it a shot. And the one thing that might get their hair up on their neck a little bit, NBA players, is not wanting to lose to that Rising Stars team, right? Not wanting to lose to those young fellas. So maybe you do get a little bit more effort, but, you know, when you even watch the Rising Stars game, it looks a lot like the NBA All-Star game. So those guys are learning from them. Oh, this is what this weekend's about? So I hear what KD's saying, but I also think the league is trying to do anything they can to bring a little bit more of competitive juice back to that weekend.
How about another $500K from where this $500K for NBA Cup came from?
Yeah, how about that? By the way, I would have been up if I was on that bench too, waving a towel. I would have been ML Carr all over again. You give me the $500,000. No wonder those guys were so excited.
Yeah, it's an obvious inspiration for these players to have that money. And also the other sports have changed their all-star games. They've tried new things.
I hope it works.
So
let's see how it works.
I loved that game so much growing up as a kid, as a fan. Because they got after it. There was pride there, East versus West. KD's on to something there. I do think the East versus West gives you your best chance to do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Tim, great having you here, man.
Amazing.
This is awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Don't be a stranger.
I'll see you soon.
All right. Promise?
Yes.
Okay, good. NFL.